Hello, everybody. So I was out in the field all day long trying to deal with some real estate. The deal never went through. C'est la vie, c'est la vie. Now I'm back in the office, and as I'm driving back, I'm parking my car. I see a really cool shareholder letter by no other than Dr. Alex Karp. He's the CEO of Palantir. You might have heard of him. So I said, what a cool video if I'm gonna read it live and give you my live reactions. So let's get right into the letter. And I apologize if this is gonna be a boring video where I'm actually reading the screen, but I think it's very important. And I also think that a lot of people watching this video don't bother to look at the news articles, don't bother to look at certain things, specifically like shareholder letters. So it's gonna be a really, really good educational video for everybody. All right, guys, so this letter just came out September 20th, 2022. And like I said, this is like fresh, a few minutes. I think I'm gonna be the first YouTuber talking about it. Number one, we have always viewed ourselves as something of an insurgent, but we have increasingly found ourselves as the incumbent, particularly in the United States. And then he talks about the strength of the US business. He said in June 30th, 2019, we generated $223 million in revenue from our customers in the United States. He says that the business in the United States, the strength of business in the United States is gaining increasing momentum. The reason he's bringing this up is because a lot of people are concentrating on the government sector and not giving credit for the commercial sector that's growing at a monumentous pace. And then he compares it to 3 years later, June 30th, 2022, the amount of revenue we generated from our US business rose to $1.04 billion, representing a 67% compound annual growth rate. 67% compound annual growth rate. Why? We went from 223 million and we basically 5x'd to over $1 billion. Goes on to explain why. The shift in our business and the increasing broad adoption of our software in the United States was driven by the unrivaled willingness of American institutions to innovate and adapt. Have you ever heard Alex Karp talk? He keeps saying that yesterday, nobody paid attention to us. And today, maybe nobody wants to use us. But they're willing to listen to us for tomorrow. We're growing on companies. Both commercial companies, but also government sectors. Both military and non-military. And I want to just fast forward and add to what he's saying right here. Not only domestically, but abroad. Although he's talking about domestic right now. We generated $563 million, for example, through the first half of this year in the United States market alone. Nearly 5 times the amount of revenue that we generated in the United States in the same period 3 years ago in 2019. And then he shows this little chart, how we started in 118 million in the beginning of 2019. Fast forward to now, 563 million. That brings us to the second part of this letter. While most companies are content with addressing the idiosyncratic needs and inefficiencies of select customers in a subset of industries, the market we seek to address, particularly among the world's commercial enterprises, is essentially unlimited. Guys, basically, he says that Palantir is for everybody. It's not a niche. It's not a niche of a niche. It's not just one market. It's literally everything. If you go on Palantir's website, it literally says Palantir and like 40 different industries. When I first started checking that, it was like 20 industries. When I checked it a few months later, it was like 30 industries. And now Palantir is in 40 different industries. So a lot of people criticize Palantir for investing into SPACs, and I think investing into SPACs is one of the smartest things they possibly could do. Why? They're literally showing people that, hey, Palantir is for everybody, and if Palantir can help this company in this industry, we can also help this company in that industry, and that company in that industry, which means that we could also help your company. And a lot of people criticize, including Chris Patel, kind of that Palantir is working with like Beckett Cards, Beckett Collectibles. Well, that's just another industry that Palantir is showing, hey, we can do this. We got you. Irrelevant what you do, Palantir is for everybody. It's huge. And we have now captured more of the market than any other company in the world. Artificial intelligence software sales. Number 1, Palantir, 2021 revenue, $1.39 billion. Number 2, Microsoft, IBM, AWS, and Google. Guys, just look what they're comparing to. Palantir is ranked number 1 for artificial intelligence software by sales. They are doubling the pace of Google, doubling the pace of AWS, doubling the pace of IBM. And they're not doubling Microsoft, but that's okay. I mean, it's freaking huge. These are all heavy hitters, with the exception of IBM. These are all trillion-dollar companies, right? And IBM is also like 100 or 200 billion market cap. It's ridiculous. This is not simply about software. The construction of our world's artificial intelligence infrastructure and systems are used by special forces to target terrorists, for example, implicate the most intimate and challenging issues of public life, including the need to guard the rights of the individuals against the power of the state. Guys, Palantir gets such a bad rap, but just listen to what he says, including the need to guard the rights of individuals against the power of the state. Then he goes on a bunch of fluff, and then I want to just go to number 3. The most significant arm race of our time is to construct the next generation of artificial intelligence. But the blind pursuit of analytical dominance without a willingness to impose one's values on that which is being built, to subjugate software to one's will lead to a little more than a shallow and short-lived triumph. Now they're talking about the ideology of Palantir, that they're going to only work with certain companies, that they're very pro-America, pro-American allies. The world's most vital institutions in both the commercial and defensive sectors will not survive without the right software. And we are building it. Plain and simple. Alex Karp is shining a light that the commercial business is growing at a massive, massive rate. He's also shining a light that not everybody can do what Palantir does. As a matter of fact, they're super unique, and only Palantir can do what Palantir does. He also goes on to say Palantir is for everybody. It's not a niche product. It's not for just a type of industry. It's literally for everybody, and anybody can get some value from using Palantir software. They go on to say that they're beating out IBM, Microsoft, Google, AWS. I mean, it's freaking crazy if you think about it in AI data software sales. Really, really insane if you think about it, those names. I'm not sure if this is an annual letter that they do, but this letter is so important. And if this was any other time, this letter would jumpstart the shares, the stock, so on and so forth. I'm glad that this letter came out. Let me know down below what you guys think, but just think about it. In 3 years, they went from 200, a little bit over 200 million to over 1 billion. For anybody that's saying that Palantir is not growing, for anybody that's saying that Palantir has no moat, and for anybody that's saying that Palantir is not unique, you guys are freaking crazy, and you guys are really, really short-sighted. Guys, thank you so much. Let me know down below what you think about this shareholders letter. I'm going to leave a link to this down below in the description so you can read it yourself. Thank you so much. Give me the likes, the shares, and subscribe. And tomorrow I will be filming the FOMC meeting live. I'm going to be filming it on all 3 of my channels. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.